recording.
I got to wear that last.
Yeah. Oh my god.
The hell, she looks nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, after that note, for one amazing guest to two absolutely incredible guests, we need microphones. Teri Hatcher and Dean Cain! You can do better than that, Liverpool, come on! Oh my god, it's Superman!
Hello!
Hi everybody, thanks for waiting.
Sorry for being tardy. There were things that needed to be taken care of. Crimes were being committed somewhere and we had to do something. You did a really great job of keeping everybody entertained.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Oh, can I just say, like, I'm going to totally fangirl. Teri, you made me want to be a journalist, and I love you in Desperate Housewives, and Dean, you are even more good looking in real life.
Yeah.
That's all you have to say.
I'm going to be professional now, okay? But it is so amazing to see the two of you here. You did the 25th anniversary in Sydney, was it? The reunion that you did last year?
What it was?
I don't know if it was the 25th anniversary, but
I'm trying to see the math.
This is our third time together. A third little reunion.
Once in Australia, but
Yeah.
there's two places.
Yeah, and then
New York.
New York,
And now
here.
Liverpool.
Woo!
I gotta say, this is a great city. It's lovely.
Look at this great crowd. Thank you all for
being
coming
here.
out.
And also, if you look down the cameras that are over there, you are live to the world. So if you want to do a little smile for Fight TV, and we know that Val,
Hello.
Val over there, who's been doing a fabulous job presenting for them.
Thank you, Val.
But, wow. I mean, we've just been talking about this, me and the crowd. We've got a great relationship now. And
You go way back.
We've been talking about, some of us watched The New Adventures of Superman the first time round. Some of us have introduced our kids to it. I want to know if you can describe in words what it is like to have been a part of something that was so massive.
Well,
Go ahead.
no, I know that you feel this way. I mean, we've talked about it, but it is. It's one of the things that's my favorite thing about coming to these events, because you get to meet people that tell the story that you just said, which is they watched it growing up and then they're sharing it with their children. And as a mom, especially, I think those moments that you have with your family, you look back on your life and they sort of mean everything to you. And it's really amazing that we got to be a part of a story and a piece of entertainment that's been that sort of family bonding time for so many people, right?
Absolutely. You don't realize it while you're working, because you're with the
Working.
same. Yeah, you're working. You're with 150 people, the same people, or whatever it is, and you do it all day, every day. And it's different now because with the internet and everything, everyone's able to react right away, and you hear a lot more feedback. For us, it took 20 years to hear anything, to going to a Comic-Con and hearing the stories that people could tell about growing up and watching the show, or what it might have meant to them and their grandmother or their mother, or they could stay up late and not have to go to school. I guess here was on Saturday nights, so you weren't worried about school, but I mean, it's just wonderful to hear those stories, and it's really fulfilling, and you don't realize it while you're shooting it. But I will say, for me, like my Superman was always Christopher Reeve, because it was the first one I watched. So Christopher Reeve was certainly, but I do think Teri was the greatest Lois Lane of all time.
Thank you. That's really sweet.
It's true.
And I must admit, I actually wanted to get you both on stage with some veils. I was going to do the dance of the 7 veils like you did.
It's a good dance. You want to see it.
It's not a good dance.
It's a very good dance. Trust me.
Do you know what? That was what was so amazing about you two. The chemistry between you two was incredible. The characters were brilliant.
We still have good chemistry.
It's great,
Yes,
isn't
it's
it?
right.
Like, it's kind of crazy because we never auditioned together, and usually that's a thing that people do in this business, like to make sure that you're gonna get along, or like that. And so it was just sort of fate, I think, that it. And I don't know. I don't think you can really make up chemistry.
If we knew how to do that, we would be, the most famous casting directors and biggest producers in Hollywood, because you get people together who are couples in real life, and you put them on camera together and there's no chemistry. That's a terrible feeling, I think. I'm not going to say any names like Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, but, right?
He did it. He went there. I did not.
Did I say that out loud?
That was your outside voice.
I thought it was in here. Okay, I'm sorry. But you don't know what it is. You don't know what you're going to get. I think Robert Butler had a good idea. Our director, creator, pilot director.
He was the one who directed the pilot.
I think he saw something. It was like those two work together, and I think that's probably a big part of what happened. So he can certainly bow down to Robert Butler on that one.
Epic casting, right? I mean, if you look at these two, this is Clark Kent, Superman, and Lois Lane, isn't it? There's no denying it.
I don't know. It's quiet. They didn't agree to that.
I know. What's going on? We haven't talked about this.
They're like, no, it's not.
But what I think would be the best thing to do, because there are so many people here, and especially with this being your first con, and Dean, it's first time with Monopoly, can we throw it out to the audience? Would you like to ask these guys a question? And I just need to make everybody aware that you need to go behind the green lines.
That was way too fast. I fear the question.
Can you just move back to where Jean-Luc, everybody, is with the microphone?
Hey, Jean-Luc.
Could you go back to him, please? Yeah, we'll get tremendous feedback if you're there.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So the 4 seasons of Lois and Clark, so much happened very quickly, I think. If you had a series today, it would be years and years for all that stuff to happen. So for series 5, that unfortunately never happened, what do you two think?
Hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, of course, well, fingers crossed. What do you two think would have happened? And were there any story arcs planned for that 5th season? And were there maybe more?
Well, we don't know the story arcs for what really would have happened. I'm sure they had some ideas. We wrote episodes of the show, but we weren't really able to, choose the direction of the show. And I think they had some ideas. They didn't share them with me. I don't think they shared them with Teri
No,
either.
they didn't.
But I would love to see what they're doing 25 years later and see what's going on, so I would love to see the world.
No, I would
never
too.
happened.
It would be amazing. I mean, I guess you can hear, I sort of say it with a doubt in my mind. The whole DC, it's complicated because there's Superman movies and other Superman shows, and I think that's why they have trouble figuring out how we would fit into it.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but
I say keep sending letters.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to see what's going on. We've never checked in with Lois and Clark 25 years later. We've never seen it happen. And I think it'd be really interesting to do. I think they should have kids with some...
Our show, more than any other version of it, really concentrated on the relationship more than the superhero acts of it. So I actually think it could sustain a look at it 25 years later, because I think that's humans, humans have a marriage and grow 25 years later, and a lot of stuff happens in their marriage. I think that would be really interesting to look at.
I agree 100%. You guys agree or no? Should we do it? All right, you say so, we'll do it. Done.
You've got a fan here. Everybody, get your phones out after this panel and put on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for Series 5. Let's do it. Let's see if we can put some pressure on. Yeah?
Bring back Lois
Do
and
it.
Clark.
Any more questions? I'm sure there are.
Hi, so yeah, it's first time seeing Superman in that era you come from.
Sorry, it's really hard to hear.
Yeah, sorry, it's like my first time seeing you at Comic-Con and that. What's been like your most embarrassing or funniest moment whilst filming on set?
Okay, well, the first moment actually that came to me, in my career, but it actually, I'm not remembering a Lois and Clark moment. I'm remembering a Desperate Housewife moment. And that was, I don't know if you watched that show, but there was a scene where Susan gets locked out of her house naked, and she just has like a bush to put in front of her, and she sort of carries it across the lawn as she's trying to hide.
She said that, I didn't say it, I just reacted. Right? Okay.
I did, I said, oh,
Yeah, you did.
Okay, anyway. Well, it's not.
She said it.
Bush.
There it is.
It was, okay.
Yeah,
now
exactly
I
what you
said
said.
it again.
There
Oh
it
my
is.
God. Okay, anyway, that day was our wardrobe girl on the show's very first day. And she came to my trailer to get me sort of in whatever minimal amount of private area coverage I could have to be able to go on set and shoot that scene. And so we decided to take gaffer's tape and put it across my breasts, and because that nothing else would really like stick and stay. And so here I am with this woman I don't even know, and she's like, okay, and she's taking the tape and, you know, covering. I mean, it was really, so you talk about embarrassing. That was pretty embarrassing.
Sounds like a good Saturday night.
Oh, it sounds like every Saturday
There you
night.
go.
Tape and naked parts at your house. Okay, wait.
Saturday, Sunday,
can
whatever.
you remember anything that happened to me in Lois and Clark? Like,
A lot of things,
Okay,
of course, sure. Well, you know, we're there, when we're shooting the show, we were there 18 hours a day, every single day. So you live there, you eat there, you sleep there. I mean, everything's happening at once. So sometimes you're doing scenes where you're doing the dance of the seven veils, or you're doing scenes in the bedroom, or you're doing flying scenes. So there's a million things that go on. I remember they flew me into
we did have scenes in the bedroom,
Yes,
didn't
we
we?
did.
Oh.
As a matter of fact. And one time on the roof, the ceiling. That's a whole other story. We were defying gravity, let's just put it that way. But I do remember early on them flying me out of, I think even out of the Daily Planet, and they flew me right into the Translight, which looks something like this. You know, I looked like I was going to fly off into the distance, and I flew right into something, and it was a little embarrassing. But you can't control that when you're doing it. But given the physical limitations of my suit, there were plenty of embarrassing moments. Let's put it that way. I'll leave that alone, just there, because we have a lot of kids here, so we're just gonna
I never thought
move
we'd
right
be
along.
talking about stuff like this, and I can't actually repeat what I was going to because it just sounds a bit wrong. Any more questions?
Oh, I think you have to, yeah. Looks like they're lying.
Hi Dean and hi Teri.
Hello.
Hi. As a teenager, I watched you in Superman, and now you've been recently been on Supergirl. I watch it with my daughter as well. What's it like being in, like, say, like today, like still in you know, the Superman, Supergirl franchise? Because usually we're absolutely brilliant in Supergirl.
Thank you. I had an amazing time doing Supergirl. The cast is just the loveliest people. I know we both were on it. I actually loved playing Queen Rhea because it was the first time I'd ever played an alien, and I had kind of the superpower, the super strength, super jump, super kick-ass kind of qualities, and also just getting to be so incredibly evil and wear a crown and a queen outfit. It was all pretty much tick, tick, tick on my fantasy list, all things I wanted to do. Plus I was with really nice people, so I had a really good time. I was sad that I died.
They turned you into ashes, right?
Yeah, I really died. I run into people, they go, do you think they're gonna bring your character back on Supergirl? I was like, did you see my death? I'm ashes that literally blew into the wind. I think that might be hard.
And you
Spoiler
killed-
alert.
If you have you seen it? You've seen it, yes?
Oh, it was on a while ago.
It was on a while ago. And you killed Kevin Sorbo, too. What was your
Did I
husband?
killed Kevin Sorbo? Yeah.
Kevin Sorbo, by the way, who was the other actor who was up for Superman at the very end. If you didn't know that, blonde Kevin Sorbo. That would have changed things out, right? Superman,
It was.
blonde hair would've been-
He's lovely, but I'm
Oh, he's
glad that
wonderful.
went your way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. I love doing Supergirl. It's great fun. What a great bunch they are. I think that she is a fantastic Supergirl. She does a great job.
Yeah, she really does.
The
She's
cast is-
very talented.
The cast is fantastic. They really have a nice feel. And the thing about the Supergirl show is it's the first superhero show that I saw that felt like Lois and Clark in tone to some degree, and that was nice. And
They concentrate on the person, the
Relationships, yeah.
humanity of it. Yeah.
I would actually like to see them do that more with her, but there is that, and so I like that, and it was great fun. Playing the dad is weird, because you know I was the guy, then now I'm the dad, and then I guess the next series I'll be the grandpa. Getting old.
You have a while before.
I got a while? All
Yeah,
right, good.
before
When
that.
you look 30.
Yeah, I'm not going to work till then. That's it. Dang it. No, it's great fun, and I think, you know, embracing. There's a lot of actors who want to run away from a show that or a character that they made famous or what they're really known by, and for me, I think it's wonderful. I think
Yeah, I mean, beyond how fun it was to just be Queen Rhea, I think the biggest reason I went to do it is I think the fans of Lois and Clark and the fans of the Superman arena in general are just some of the most solid, passionate fans that I can imagine. And
That's you guys.
That's you guys, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I just knew that you would appreciate like us getting and staying in that same world. And I think, why not try to do something that people would think was really fun and like a special treat. So that was part of the reason to do it too.
And it's great fun. I love being involved and still part of the universe. And so hopefully we'll continue to do it with the next show they create. Who knows?
Hi Dean, hi Terry.
Hi.
Out of the 4 seasons of Superman, which episode was your favourite to film and why?
My favorite for sure was the episode where Clark Kent proposes to Lois Lane. I thought that was the greatest. I really did. I thought that was a wonderful moment, and it was just, that's the whole show in a nutshell. And I thought that was just great, and just the banter back and forth between the two characters, I thought that was fantastic. And her saying, who's asking, Clark or Superman? It was a great moment.
That's a good classic line.
That's a good classic line.
Yeah, go on.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't remember how I did it, but I mean.
You said, who's that? Okay, I won't do it.
Yeah, dude,
Put your glasses
well,
off.
okay. Who's asking? Clark or Superman?
Oh, see, there it is. I saw it. And then you have to wait till next season to see the answer, because that's what we did. And sorry about that.
I need to go back and watch all the episodes, I have to say. But what comes to my mind for sure would be the pilot, because the pilot, I think, still stands as one, even though it's outdated in terms of like what you're able to do from a special effect point of view at this point, but it's not outdated in terms of that. I really do think it was one of the best pilots, that were made at the time. I love that. But I guess, remember Honeymoon in Metropolis?
Oh, yeah.
I liked
How could I
Honeymoon in
forget that?
Metropolis because I really liked the scenes that we had in the hotel, and I think it drew on my favorite thing, which is just sort of the physical and romantic comedy parts of acting. That and that episode was heavy in that. So I kind of recall that being one of my favorites.
It's a good one.
We've got time for 2 more. Sorry, everyone.
Hi, I'm Sebastian.
Hi, Sebastian.
I want to ask a story because Superman was always a symbol. Nowadays we've got at last female leading characters in superhero movies. And how do you find Lois in this process? I mean, back in the days she was, I think, the first female comic character that was only not a damsel in distress, but also tries to equal Superman in her human way with her power, strength, intellect. And what does it mean to impersonate such character back in the days?
Thanks. What a great question. I mean, at the time, yeah, I do think Lois Lane really stood out on television in that show as a strong, independent woman, and maybe there wasn't a lot of that, especially even being able to keep the comedy aspect of that around. I have had over the years plenty of people say to me, I went to journalism school because of you, and even though I'm not sure I deserve any credit for that, it's nice to feel like you were a part of sending a message to young girls that they could go after a dream and a business sort of independent career, and it wasn't just like another princess story where the man comes in and saves the day, although I guess Superman did often do that. I think now, and Desperate Housewives was really at the beginning of that also, you've got a lot of television with very strong female characters in it, and I love that. I mean, I'm so proud to have been a part of that really from the beginning. And we need more. We just need more women characters, and I'm really happy to be seeing that. But I'm glad that I got to be a part of it.
I think part of what made that special too is the fact that, nowadays, like you said, that we need more, but it wasn't something that was harped upon. It wasn't something that was like done to let's make sure this is a strong female character. She just was. And the name of the show, at least in the States, was Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. And it was something that was very natural. It was something that wasn't forced in any way, shape, or form. And Lois Lane being that strong character was a great example from an early time without sort of putting your finger on it and going, you must look at this example, we're going to teach you something. It was teaching without putting it overtly in your face, and I think that was smart and certainly ahead of its time. I had to jump in there.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah, hi guys. Hi Dean, hi Terry. He won't tell you. It's my husband's question. Big, massive Superman fan, has been all his life. He wouldn't tell you this, Terry, but he told me that you were his teenage crush.
Oh, thank you so much.
What about now?
Well, now he's married.
Oh, he's married.
and
I'm
he can't
sorry.
say
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
so-
but I could have
Dang.
sworn he winked at me just now. Like, yeah, right.
Do you have something to tell me, Jim? Yeah, he wanted to know, first, Dean, how did you play two Supermen? Yeah, and Terry, how did you play the clone?
Well, when I had to play two Supermen at the same time, fortunately, Lincoln Simons, who was my stunt double, like if you shot over his shoulder, he looked like me. So we got away with that, except that he's not an actor, so he would never say the words, and he would never quite look me in the eye, because if he did, he'd start laughing. I was like, you're a professional, come on, man. But so he was able to do that with a person, which was great. You played against yourself, so I don't know how you did that.
And I don't remember.
Terry.
Well, back then to do
Oh my
it,
God, that's so horrible.
we would use a motion capture camera and things of that nature, so you'd have to do the same scene against yourself
Is that
with
what
someone else in there.
Wow,
I
maybe
remember.
you can explain how it went.
Yeah, so it would be you doing the scene with someone else in there, and then they split the screen, and then they pulled them out, and then wrote a script.
Obviously, I was very talented.
You were very talented. There's no question. So you were actually acting against yourself, which was
Wow,
interesting.
that's brilliant.
You were fantastic. Really
How
well done.
did I do that?
Very well, Terry. Very well. Yeah, but it's difficult to do that. Nowadays, technology is such that it would be a lot easier to do, but it was harder back in the day, and you did a great job.
Well, thank you very much. It's funny how my memory works. How things just are just gone, like it was another human being. But like there is a feeling. I kind of recall that. Like I love challenges like that, and you probably remember that about me. Like any kind of acting challenge you put in front of me, like there was that scene where I had to be in the pit with the rats crawling all over me. Those were real rats, by the way, that really did nibble. But anything, or playing a different version of yourself, or I just love a challenge, and the bigger the challenge, the more fun it is. So that's kind of what I recall.
I was going to say, a little bit like Lois Lane, right? I'm just going to throw it out there.
There, you're
A
right.
little bit, of
there
course.
you go. It was match made in heaven. We've got one more question.
Hi, yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to meet the pair of you, it really is.
Thank you.
Dean, you unfortunately, looking back at it now, you were my fashion icon. Where did you get them ties and them suits?
They weren't my choice.
Weren't they?
Daryl Levine. He liked a lot of floral ties and different colored ties and things, and he kept throwing them on me. And of course, it was the 90s. And so fashion was a little bit different.
It was hard to try and buy them around where I worked at the time. You couldn't find them anywhere. Dean Cain ties, you just couldn't find them anywhere.
See, nowadays, those things would be marketed and out there everywhere.
Like Paul Smith, floral, everything.
Well,
Like,
yeah. But now.
Yeah, now. That's what
We were a
I'm
little
saying,
ahead of
yeah.
our time.
Yes.
Yeah, so Daryl Levine, our costume designer, listen, they weren't the colors that I would have chosen, and I couldn't put any of those outfits together. I'd be like, really, that shirt and this tie? All right, I would just throw it on, and I wouldn't even worry about it. But those guys picked it out and did a good job.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, because the woman Judith who did my stuff, which really had that very authentic sort of 40s flair to it, vintage, so yes, the 90s, but also I think they collectively tried to do a wardrobe look that was of no era, and so I bet that's why they did that to you.
That makes more sense than my answer.
Thank you.
Cheers, thank you. Sorry about the trouble finding the ties. Now they're everywhere.
I don't want to keep answering questions. Do we have to go? That's it.
But you can come back tomorrow.
Oh, we'll come back tomorrow.
They will come back tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, I said it before and I'll say it again. Let us show our appreciation. Stamp your feet, clap your hands and
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Teri Hatcher and DK! They'll be back tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, and they're sat just over there. DK and Teri Hatcher!
We're coming back tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Yeah, because I've got, yeah.
Well, Laura's met Dean before.
I've met her a few times, but
But certainly last night with Sven, just
I want Dean. Can I go give us the Dean a minute?
whichever
1 minute.
direction.
Can I just pass that to you?
Dean,